I was in pain. I was in pain that time.
I started begging. It came to a point I was picking stick to feed.
Losing a husband is a heartbreaking experience, a grief so deep. Unfortunately, for many widows, the heartbreak is only the beginning. What follows is struggle, not just with loss, but with the devastating reality of being stripped of everything she once had. Home, security, dignity, gone in an instant.
My POP hung around my neck and plasters all around. They came to the hospital. They took me around to go and get money from where we supply eggs. The equivalent amount that was on their check, they collected the cash from the condolence gift I received. I gave it to them. And that same moment that he died, they started going to the poultry, killing the fowls, the layers that lay egg to us. We had 3 acres of land. They took the paper, all the land, the documents to the land. I was ushered to my room to pick the things that they want me to pick, not even all my things.
One moment, a woman is mourning her husband. The next, she is told she has no claim to the life they built together. Relatives step in, taking ownership of land, money, and possessions, leaving her with nothing.
Before I could come home, they said, as a wife, I'm still young, that I can still go and marry. So before I come, first attempt was to take away my building documents. Then second, they took away my bike. Then before I come, they hijacked the shop, saying that all what I have belongs to their brother. So, and since I was still in the state of mourning, I couldn't say anything. I thought it was a joke until they took everything away.
4 out of 10 widows in Nigeria find themselves completely disposed, forced into poverty with nowhere to turn. For many, there is no safety net. They are left to rely on the goodwill of extended families, friends, or in the worst cases, the streets.
So after he died, I was to learn tailoring. I learned how to sew bag just to help myself. But after a year that my husband passed, I had a sickness. The sickness was much. I entered a coma. So I was there for almost a month before the God bring me alive again. So after that sickness, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't sew anything again because what they discover on me is heart problem. So I cannot stress myself. I cannot do any work that will stress me. So I'm just there with my children. But thank God for my mother. My mother take all my children. He's training them. My mother said that I should be doing small things that I can know that my power carry. So after 4 years, my mother died. So when my mother died, I carry my children. But after 3 months, I lost the firstborn. He was sick, no money to take care of him. A boy of 17 years. He wanted to do work then. I lost him.
In some communities, tradition dictates that a widow cannot inherit her husband's property. In others, assets are divided amongst children, leaving the wife with little or nothing. The reasoning varies, but the result is always the same. Women pushed aside, their rights ignored, their futures uncertain.
I didn't have a boy, so the family said my children are girls. I'm the one that owns them, that I should be caring for them by myself. Even to eat with the 5 girls is just the grace of God.
Some are even forced into harmful widowhood rites, rituals that strip them of their autonomy and dignity under the guise of tradition.
But no. You can't take it. It belongs to bros. You know, it was that bad, that terrible, that even CD, ordinary CD, I was not allowed to pick it. And we went back to the hospital because I was still in the hospital. And when we were discharged, there was no place to go. And I was like, I'm not going back home. I'm not going back to Lagos. It's just my cross that I just had to carry. I was ready to carry the cross. So
it begs the question, do Nigerian laws actually protect widows? In theory, yes.
That is if the widow is ready to challenge the will in court.
With so many laws meant to protect widows' rights, one would expect justice to be served to every woman treated unfairly after her husband's death. Sadly, reality tells a different story. Legal victories don't always translate into real change. Many widows lack the money to take their in-laws to court. Others are pressured into silence, told that challenging tradition is shameful. The battle is as much cultural as it is legal, deeply embedded in societal expectations of a woman's place.
There are so many laws in Nigeria that protect widows' inheritance rights. First of all, the Umbrella Law, 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended. By virtue of Section 42, nobody is to be discriminated against. That means that applies to widows in any form. And if you look at Section 43 of that same law, that's Nigerian Constitution, it provides for and protects ownership of, right of ownership of properties. You can inherit properties by virtue of the provision of that law. That's the first law that protects widows' rights to inheritance. The second one, we have the Marriage Act. For those who get married under the Marriage Act, inheritance is protected by that law. A wife who survives her husband on that law, that's the law. The marriage that you call court marriage. That's what people call court marriage in Nigeria. But we as lawyers, we call it marriage under the Act, statutory marriage. The widow's inheritance rights is protected under that law. For example, if a woman loses her husband, there is something we call rule of survivorship. She has a right to inherit a significant portion of that man's estate. Anybody can actually distribute his or her estate through the will, but the court can intervene if a widow is deprived of the right of inheritance. The laws are there, but there is weak enforcement. So it's a systemic thing that needs to be addressed systematically.
But amidst the hardship, some refuse to be broken. Across Nigeria, organizations are stepping in to provide financial aid, legal support, and a sense of belonging for women who have lost everything. They offer hope, but the need far outweighs the resources available. Grassroots movements have also emerged, led by widows who refuse to accept their fate.
Thank God when I come across Mommy Shade and our foundation, the Lord has been using her greatly for me.
The road has not been easy, really, but God has been faithful and bringing good people around. Talking about even the foundation, my daughter too had a part on how I started the foundation. That my business is really doing good. That I'm still struggling with the business though, but I know that I still make little from the business to feed and all of that. But what I want to do is that there's something that is in my heart that I want to do. I don't have the financial wealth with her. I don't know how to go about it, but it's actually what I want to do. That I'm praying to God every day that if God could help me, and I'm going to do this. And then she went, that what is that? I said, okay, that I want to start a foundation for widows. And she went that what could make you to think of starting a foundation? I said, I'm a widow. She was like, whoa.
Change will take more than just new laws. It requires a cultural shift, a recognition that widows deserve security, dignity, and the rightful share of what their husbands left behind. That change won't happen overnight, but it starts with a collective action from the government, from NGOs, and from people willing to ask uncomfortable questions, challenge old norms, and stand up for those who have been silenced for too long.
I just believe if Nigeria can help. I don't know, because even Nigeria itself needs help. So I don't know what Nigeria can do to help widows, because even in this country, Nigeria itself needs help. Even when you are praying for Nigeria, people will be like, don't pray for Nigeria again. Just keep praying for God's mercy upon yourself. So I don't know. For Nigeria helping widows, I can't say this is a specific something that they will do. It's only God that can keep helping widows. So it's only God that can keep helping us. Because if I say this is what Nigeria will do, I don't know.
But here's the honest question. Will this change ever come? Or are we clinging to hope that may never materialize?